Hello and welcome to Dario's Comic School, and this video is called The Decline of Story and what it means to you as a person and society at large. I know this is a comic channel or a comic school channel, and yeah, when we take a look here to my vision board, I have here something laid out, and it's like how I will publish my comics, and maybe this was a different project, but here's the comic school. This is what we concentrate on. And here's the craft, how to draw and write. And each craft, like how to ink, how to write, how to color, it's a craft onto its own. And then number two, the philosophy and intention, I think is very important. We'll go into that in a second. How to make a living with or from your craft or your art. That's a third thing, that hopefully you start a craft and you continue making it. Like right now, I'm about to finish this piece, and the Keanu Reeves that was here is no longer here. I sold it to a friend and he got the original artwork. And now I'm thinking, because other people wanted it too, if I'm selling prints, something like my friend does, like selling prints from original art. So, but where comes the declining of story? I was reading an hour ago this comic. It's by Garth Ennis, drawn by Carlos Esquerra, and it's called Bloody Mary, Lady Liberty. In the previous video, which you will film after this, but it's the previous video in your timeline, it's about a comic book haul I made in LA. I was reading this an hour ago, and good lord, I didn't want to stop this comic. Like, this is 24 pages. I didn't want to stop to stop reading this comic, because it was amazing. I was intrigued by the story, by the pictures. I will go into this in a second, in depth, and it's about Lady Liberty, and I will do another thing about this. But after the first two comics, we now get a bit into the backstory, and they're talking here at night. Something went wrong, betrayal. In New York City, this is like Escape from LA or New York City, and as you can see, like, this is some hard-boiled stuff. Look at this face. This face of this black man is called, kind of realistically, like a bit Arthur Adam style. And look at this guy. Look at him. I'll show you in a second. Like, this guy, this is hard-boiled, and everything he does is also badass. And this comic is not only like well written, it's about hope, it's about war, it's about a world going to shit, much like our own. I think the world is always going to shit. That's like the fun of it, that you can save it, or try to. And she's talking here about what she had to do to survive, and it's very well written. It's also I mean, this is like a TV show, like a series, like a movie, and I didn't want this comic to stop. And I have to get myself issue 4. And why am I rambling on about this? Let me read you something from Robert McKee's story. In the hometown I'm living in, we're planning to do a movie, like 90 minutes and 120 minutes. I would like to have it shorter, because like 30 pages. Writing a movie. Look, some people, me included, we have seen a lot of stories, a lot of movies, a lot of stuff. But it's the same as with music. You consume it, and you think, man, I could do that better. And sure, probably that you could, but like with music, like you want to play the guitar, but you have to learn to play the guitar. It's not just, oh, I'm listening all my life to music, so I'm able to do music. Once you get your hands on the instrument, you realize very fast that you can't do jack shit. Same's on the paper, same's on the page. But you can learn it. It's not that this needs to be a mystery, that you cannot reach levels of Garth Ennis or Carlos Esquera or write a story like Robert McKee, because Robert McKee, and myself included, and also with a guitar or everything else, everything can be learned. I'm sure. Like, there is talent, there is something like that gets your foot in the door, but the rest can be learned. And what happened in the past 20 years, or even before that, like we have made big leaps in technology. But also, like, I remember the day I probably was like 11, and I got like a small, it wasn't even a smartphone back then. It was like a phone, a cellular phone, a mobile phone with some, and you could play Snake on it. And it was a Nokia. But that day something happened. And something very profound and sad happened to me. I was isolated. Because like, I never was like, I was kind of popular, but I had always dermatitis and asthma and stuff like that. And okay, you got a phone, you have the numbers of everybody, and then people started talking to you or inviting you in person. Like just everything went through the phone. And I guess people, like when they look at that and the worldwide interweb, things became shallow as your TV shows and everything else. I don't say everything is bad, but some things became shallow because like the craft and mastery went down. Like I see it with like painting a picture is so much fun. Like putting ink on paper is also a lot of fun. Or just like as you can see, I was so inspired by the Lady Liberty and other stuff, and putting the pencil down on the paper is really amazing. And once I made also my workout plan, this will be maybe a comic like the barbaric caveman workout comic. But yeah, like things started to get mechanical. Sorry for the long rambling, but this is an important video. And let me read you now the thing I'm reading now to you. Much can be said against the old Hollywood system, but to its credit, it was a system of apprenticeship overseen by seasoned story editors. That day is gone. Every now and then, a studio rediscovers apprenticeship, but in its zeal to bring back the golden days, it forgets that apprentice needs a master. Today's executive may recognize ability, but few have the skills or patience to turn a talent into an artist. That is really important. The final cause of the decline of story runs very deep. Values. The positive, negative charges of life that are at the soul of our art. The writer shapes stories around a perception of what's worth living for, what's worth dying for, what's foolish to pursue, the meaning of justice, truth, the essential values. In decades past, writer and society more or less agreed on these questions, but more and more ours have become age of moral and ethical cynicism, relativism, and subjectivism. A great confusion of values, as the family disintegrates and sexual antagonism rises. Who, for example, feels he understands the nature of love, and how, if you do have a conviction, do you express it to an ever more skeptical audience? This erosion of values has brought with it a corresponding erosion of story. Unlike writers in the past, we can assume nothing. First, we must dig deeply into life to uncover new insights, new refinements of values and meaning, then create a story vehicle that expresses our interpretation to an increasingly agnostic world. No small task. And then he goes into how to do a story. Like, it's a thick book. It's a really thick book, but it's also a very fun book because, like, he goes into all the things that you need, and it's a very, very cool book. Also, the John Truby Anatomy of Story is well quoted. But yeah, I will end this video now, but I hope you get a hang of it. Like, in the past 20 years, you can see it with the Star Wars, with like everything that comes out is so dumped down, so watered down, so made just for the masses, so content like. Like, do you see me post? I would love to post consistently. Like, I have no problem with consistency. I work out every day or every second day if I can, and I stick to my guns and I do what I can. But sometimes we should go away from content and from the algorithm. Like, I made this video with the best of my intentions, and maybe this video will also hold up in many years when someone sees it and can also get out the essence of this. Like, story can be learned, story should be learned, and if... Oh, was I reading the right thing? Because, like, I think... No, it's not that I've forgotten something, but when story loses its masters, we lose ourselves. Because if stories are not told right, we have no role models or no concepts for living. We even, I mean, maybe you don't dream, but I dream. And I dream in stories. I mean, what tells you that? You dream in stories. Doesn't always have to make sense, but tonight I was dreaming something. I was somewhere. It has something to do with, I took an art room, and then I was in a different city, but I was alone, but I wanted to travel home. How did I get there? And something like this. And sometimes my dreams want to tell me something. I don't always get it, but I dream in pictures. I maybe inhabit different stories or bodies, but I always, when I get back, I have a certain feeling, mostly bad feelings, but sometimes also good feelings, or sometimes it's mixed. And I think, what does this story want to tell me for my life? And so this story wants me, I want to read this because it's amazing. And it also teaches me things about life. And I'm rambling on without getting to the point, but maybe you got the point already. So see you in the next video. And what I want to tell you, yeah, let's get back to good stories again. Watch the things before the 2000s. Like the past 20 years, I wouldn't say that everything was trash, but I thought this would be like a 90s trash comic, and it's not. It is really cool, and it is a really cool story. And good stories hold up well, because like Robert McKee says, it's not just... good stories are timeless, because they will always inspire us to become our best self, to strive for what we want, for who we truly are. And the world we're in will always tell you, don't do that. Dario, why are you doing comics? Why are you not getting a real job? Why are you not earning millions of dollars? Because I want to do motherfucking comics, because I'm called to do this. And watch me earn a great living with it. Because I stuck with my guns. I followed my gut. Not always easy. Sometimes you're not getting the help you need. But if I can provide it to you, I will. See us.